Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to week 41 of the 2020-2021 PGA Tour season, the 3M Open. This is the Smash Factor. Gup here with you as usual. Coming off the last major of the year, 6 inside of basically 12 months, and now we get to wait till April until the Masters. So it seems like a long way away, but we are weeks away from NFL and college football, which is very exciting. This is probably one of the tougher weeks to get motivated, I guess you would say. Still be playing, definitely probably a little lighter than normal. Maybe, especially as a content creator and provider, like you're in that zone now where you're kicking up football research. Like this is Tuesday morning, so I put off the pod a little bit. One, I wanted to see, were we going to see DJ, Usti, maybe even Reed or any of those guys drop out, which would make a tremendous difference not only in the betting market, but DFS. I didn't want to get out, and then we have a DJ withdrawal, and well, that kind of changes a lot potentially. So went ahead and focused on a lot of NFL work that I need to get, going, preseason ranks, all that kind of stuff, working with Ryan behind the scenes, and then Bobby on all the tools we got coming in the updates to the Green Machine. So a lot done yesterday, so I decided to do my research for golf last night. Still could see withdrawals. I mean, it's only Tuesday morning. I would assume we'd see it, today at some point, if you're going to, or would have already seen it probably, barring like injury type deal. But, so I'm going through the pod as if DJ and all these guys are playing. But first we'll wrap up the British Open or the Open Championship, however we want to dictate that. But, yeah, it was absolutely my worst DFS week ever. I'm always candid and open and accountable and all that stuff. I think that's why a lot of people that do follow us respect, especially always did in the betting market, put out good, bad, ugly, and different. Same with DFS. It was a weird week though. So as I reviewed everything, we got to review it a little earlier Sunday with it ending. Like the player pool compared to some other player pools I've had in big weeks was good. As far as percentage of guys that made the cut, I just didn't have anybody up there. And obviously, absolutely, I talked to a lot of people. Just even Friday, Saturday, just kicking myself. I mean, I came on here the very first pod, a Smash Factor, and was all over Morikawa. Liked him, liked Spieth, but knew I was going to have to do an ownership battle there. And by Wednesday, I had talked myself off of Morikawa and Spieth completely, which obviously leads to your worst DFS week of all time. And I had no Usti. I wasn't going to play Usti, so that one wouldn't have hurt me as bad because it was never in my mindset. But I was all in on Morikawa early. Then you see the article and the posts and the tweets and, why he struggled the first week, was changing his irons. So like, man, just days away from the British Open. He's changing his irons now. He's coming off not a great week. There wasn't much positives there, but it also drove down ownership. So hindsight, I probably still should have at least stayed equal or more to the field on the guy that I liked. In general, Spieth it really came down at the end. I was like, I think I'm either going to play a lot of Spieth or Rahm. Both I had them projected 1-2 in ownership. I had Spieth a little higher. They came in virtually neck and neck around 24%, at least in the milli, and I know other stuff a little bit different. And just, bad, I don't want to say bad decision. Rahm finished okay. Like I had a lot of Rahm, a lot of DJ, a lot of Brooks, which those guys kind of came back Sunday, backdoor in their top 10 type stuff. But when you don't have any of 1, 2, 3, zero. I had zero Morikawa, Usti, or Spieth. It's going to be, and I don't remember where Usti technically finished. He may have finished fourth on in the Open. No, he did finish third. I can't remember. I couldn't remember him and Rahm where they finished. But yeah, you're just not going to do well. I mean, it's too much. Too many points right there left off the board with those three. So a little mad at myself for getting off Morikawa, but it ain't even Spieth. I liked him. He was in my place. That was just an ownership play at the end of the day, and maybe outthunk myself there. But other than that, I enjoyed it. Coverage was great. Having the direct TV package makes it a little better because you get the 4 channels, and you don't always have to be glued into just the main feed. Because when I was watching the main feed, it was sometimes a little annoying on the multiple commercials and then the repeating of the exact same thing over and over and over by some of the announcers kind of got old. The audio feed, which a lot of people have talked about, was pretty good on the app. So if I was out driving around or something like that, I'd listen to that. I thought that was good. You can't, it's kind of like one of the, you love having the 14, 15 hours a day. And you get it. They have to have commercials and they have to do certain things. Could it have been better at spots? Yeah, but it wasn't the end all horrible for me. At least we had a bunch of golf on there, albeit we'd like to see a little bit more of different guys, especially like I know in the DFS world and probably even betting, a lot of these guys as they were finishing Friday, even early, you like to see them coming in on 17 and 18, especially if they're on the cut line or going to be close to it. But outside of that, overall, I enjoyed it. It's always one of my favorite tournaments to watch each year. Obviously, financially was horrific. But, bankroll management, get together and on to the next week. And then we start, focusing on football as well. So that gets brought in, doing best balls, doing all that. I mean, we're close on our football stuff. So we're ranking, preseason rankings are done. But, just like that, today, Cam Akers goes down about an hour ago or so. That's going to shift some things. So there's a fine line between being out there and putting a bunch of content out that sometimes to me is a lot of work that doesn't really, at the end of the day, help much. So we try to get in the middle of when can we put quality stuff out that will have a little bit of evergreen and last some. In football, it's always tough with injuries and all that, but we're on that verge now in the next week or two, building everything out and getting it ready, and I'm looking forward to that. As always, you can use Smash 20, get 20% off any package that includes a 7-day free trial. Come check us out. If you get the full site access, you can check out all the tools, the optimizer, everything, see if you like it. If you don't like everything within 7 days, you can cancel, never get charged. You can also use Smash 20 off any gear in the merchandise store as well. Rate and review us on iTunes. I'll be doing, when we do the big giveaways for the majors, I will also do one for opening week NFL and probably do some stuff for opening week college football. We're pretty glued in on the college football industry. I put our content and Slack up against anybody in the industry. So college football, NFL, we'll have some good giveaways. So go rate and review us now for that. Leave a comment on this video, like and subscribe on YouTube. Tell me who you want to play in the 8K range. I really think that range is going to be popular this week. A lot of guys in my rankings high up there. 9 and 10 will too, but I really think the 8K, I would like to see who people want to play the most out there. What are you liking out of that range? Listener League is up. I'll include it in the pod. 400 this week, 500 to first, 3 max per usual, limited rake and flat payouts. Last week's winter, Demented 14, 516.5. Spieth, Usti, Morikawa, that's a good start. Bezadenhout, English, and Tringali. So he had a little English sweat there Friday coming in, but he got through the cut and did okay. Pretty solid lineup, especially for a 1 to 3 max type contest. When you get first, second, and third, that always helps a lot. A little shout out to JBRZEZI. He had 4th and 6th in the contest this week, so that was pretty impressive as well. Course preview, as always, go check out Kenny Kim on the Fantasy DGen podcast. Always breaks it down, or check out his premium article that will be on the site today, and then he updates Wednesday with all his favorite add-ons from the podcast. TPC Twin Cities, 3rd year at this course, 3rd year for this tournament. kind of what we saw before the Open with, John Deere Classic, Rocket Mortgage, stuff like that, Birdie Fest. Here you have to take advantage of the par fives. All of them are definitely birdieable, but most of these guys can eagle as well. So, high scoring, high birdie fest. There's a lot of water around here. If you avoid the water, then it's relatively easy. I mean, we've seen 18, 19, 20 under type numbers up here. So, although, and which means the water can, cause havoc on some, but the guys that are playing well, there's not a lot of, disasters here. I mean, it'll get somebody, obviously, with 156 guys or whatever we have in the field, but avoid the water and pretty much it's irons and putting, kind of like we were at before the Open. And then, honestly, the Open kind of turned into that as well with the wind just being totally benign. Bent greens here if you're looking at any putting stats. Weather, it's had some rain as of late. Nothing too crazy, kind of similar to what we've had here. But this week looks great. Hot, humid, no wind. I think Friday they could get close to 100. So, I mean, maybe some hot fatigue type stuff. I don't know how we, handicap that anecdotally, but, it is going to be hot. I mean, it's definitely going to be, very little wind, no rain. Probably whatever moisture is in the ground is going to dry out throughout the week for sure. So that's probably the only, variable of the week. Cut will be around -2, -3. Winter, somewhere between -18, -20. We did have Wolf here in 2019. I actually had tickets on Wolf and Bryson. So only person we had to dodge there was Morikawa, and we did Wolf. We hit at 125-1. Last year, Michael Thompson beat Adam Long by 2. Finau was up there as well. As I mentioned, Wolf beat Bryson and Morikawa by 1 in 2019. So, you see Wolf, Bryson, and then you see like a Michael Thompson. You're kind of like, okay, we get 6-7 years of this. What will these leaderboards look like? And it looks like you can attack it from many different angles. So I don't think it favors any one type. I think, being accurate, kind of good drives, nothing too crazy, and then just have, great irons and be able to putt is really what's going to come down to. Stats I'm looking at: stroke gain approach, good drives, great approaches, par 5 DK scoring, birdie or better, and opportunities inside 18 feet. 36 of these guys currently have not played in the first 2 years here, so a lot of them have. So that's a good thing we can kind of take a look at. Definitely will downgrade course history, course fit a little bit this week with only 2 years of data in there, but it's something to take a look at. You can see some of these guys have done well both years. You've had some that, have finished top 10, then miss a cut. So, not enough to gauge it completely, but something we definitely will take a look at. Salary ranges: 4 in the 10K, 7 in the 9K, 10 in the 8K, 39 in the 7K, 94 in the 6K now with looks like the Monday Qs will get added today. So a lot of 6K guys for us to shift through, but not if it stays as is, it's really not. I mean, it's not a tremendous field, but it's not terrible by any means. Especially you get DJ Reed, Finau, Usti, which just surprised me if Usti plays, or DJ for that matter. But DJ may want to finish strong here with he's not playing the Olympics. He's already said that, so he gets next week off. There is no PGA event. Then you get WGCs, you're going to the FedEx Cup. He showed some life there Sunday, as did Brooks. Both finished in top 10. So, he may be here to, and he shot 80 last year or whatever, or 78 and withdrew after shooting like 78, 80 right before this event and missing the cut. So, but then after that, he had like 3 wins, including the Masters. I think all top 12s or better or something. So, he could catch fire here and start it here and just run away from this field. That could happen. But we'll see. Something to keep an eye on. I think if we get through tomorrow and no more withdrawals, I think the field will stay as it is. I really don't see anybody else living. Sweet 16, I go through the 4 salary ranges, give you 3 picks and a bubble boy, a fade of the week, a sleeper of the week, some gut feel plays, betting, one and done, and then we get out of here. 9K and above, I'm going to start with DJ. If he's here and he's not withdrawing and he's playing, He's just a class above the rest for me. An 8th at the Open, like I said, didn't look like he had his game at all times, but certainly, hung around, finished strong. Maybe ride that into a good week here. Bent greens are always good for him. There's nothing negative, and he's not so priced up. When you look at, he's 7-1 in the betting odds, and the next best is, around 14-1 ish. So he's almost double best second. But he's only $600 more than Finau and $400 more than Usti. So I mean, if I'm gonna pay up, I'll take DJ for that dollars and find some salary saver elsewhere every day of the week. And I'll just I'd be interested to see what the ownership is on him. He's super low at the Open, took advantage of it. Albeit only we say it only top 8, but that's how his his ceiling is. We expect a win or something like that. So when he finishes 8th, it's kind of like you feel like it was like a man week. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to him. Cam Davis, I'll be interested. I hadn't listened to mini pods. Like I said, I was kind of locked up in the old off in here, getting locked and loaded for football yesterday, so I didn't listen to much golf stuff, so I'll catch up on that today. But coming off the win, I like that he played the John Deere, so you kind of get that post-win tourney out. He made the cut there, so he played all 4 days, and then he took last week off, didn't play the Barbasol, obviously didn't make it into the Open, a 12th here last year. We're talking about par 5s and scoring and all that. I mean, I'll go back to him at 9,200. I don't know what the ownership's going to be. That's one thing that I'd take a look at, but I don't mind some Cam Davis at 9,200. Wolf, I think, will be a great pivot. I don't know how many guys are going to want to jump on him at $9,700. Has shown peaks and some life as his return back to golf. Some really, really good rounds. Even I think it was a Rocket Mortgage, maybe the first day. Yeah, like 8 birdies or something, but he had 6 bogeys. So, if he can balance that out, we know he can go low. He won here, and he finished 12th last year. So he's got great history at that price. I like that he got priced up because I think he may keep people off of him, which is good because I don't mind starting, Wolf Davis. I don't mind that if on my non-DJ lineups per se or something like that, and avoid all the 10K range. I don't mind that at all. Bubble Boy for me, it was close between Reed and Finau. It's really going to be ownership driven to see who's getting talked up most. My gut would say that Finau gets talked up a little bit more just because of the history here. A 23rd, a 3rd last year, a 15th at the Open. Patrick missed the cut, shockingly. Reed, Cantley, and Willie Z were I really didn't mention that at the opening, but those 3 were kind of the big culprits of my horrible week. Reed and Cantley both right there. I think they missed by one missed by 2. Reed was 1 roll away, I think, from getting in, but that dude misses more cuts by 1 stroke or 2 strokes than ever. Maybe it's only when I roster him. And Cantley, I've been so opposite of him all year this year. If I'm on him, he misses the cut. When I don't play him, he wins or top 5. So he was Willie Z was a tough deal. He's -1 going into Friday. Withdrawals pre-round with that back injury when he tried to hack that ball out of 15 on Thursday. So that's just bad beats on that situation. But I digress. But I found it interesting. Maybe it's because of the charters and stuff. Like we saw Reed, I don't know if the main covers, but one of the feeds, Reed was there Saturday on the range working for a while. So I was like, all right, is he just hanging around because they all fly like a charter together back, or is he really grinding? I don't know, but so he's kind of the bubble boy for me. I want to play him. I hope he doesn't get talked up too much. I don't think he will coming off the missed cut, but he did have a 23rd here 2 years ago and didn't play last year. AK, I'm going to say back with Kazire. Been playing him. 25th at Rocket Mortgage and 11th at the John Deere. 2 made cuts here the last 2 times he's played it. Number 1 in the putting splits for me. I just like everything about him. Not overthinking that. I'll play him. Luke List, coming back into form, a 4th at the John Deere, a 5th at Barbasol last week. Horrible Sunday there. He was in contention going into Sunday. A 32nd here last year. He did have a miscut in 2019. 7th in my stats overall. 8th in approach, 8th in par 5 DK, 10th in good drives, 27th in opportunities inside 18 feet. So a lot of stuff there to like. We know it comes down to putting for him. Can he get a hot putter and go low enough? If he gets chalky, I could see that with the 5th and the 4th coming in. I don't mind fading. I don't think I'll ever be on a chalky list, but I do like list out the gate here. Schwartzel is my last play here. 3rd here last year, a 26th at Barbasol, 11th in par 5 DK scoring in the field, 10th in birdie or better, 12th in approach. So a lot of things I like there. And 8,200 gives us some flexibility. So I like Charles Schwartzel this week as my last main play. Bubble Boy is McNeely. Really comes down to a guy that right below him I'll get to in the gut feel plays, but like his stats are just okay, nothing popping, but he's, we know he lives and dies by that putter. He's been hot overall as of late. 21st at Rocket Mortgage, 18th at John Deere. If the putter lets him down, is it worth the 8,400 type deal? Yeah, I don't know. He's 11th in recent form for me in the field. All those things is why he's on the bubble. Probably makes the cut, especially in MMEs for me. But he's right there, on the bubble for me. 7K. Gonna start with Mito. Everybody jumped on at the Rocket Mortgage. He missed the cut. We went back to him at John Deere, gets 34th, gets a 5th last week at Barbasol. He's number 1 in stats overall, albeit limited, but limited amount of data. Putting really is what it's going to come down for him. But 7,600, I definitely like him. I'll go back to him. He's top 20 or better in all 6 major stats I'm looking at. Again, very limited data, but it's worth a little bit. Adam Shank, been on him, go right back to him this week. 41st at Rocket Mortgage, 4th at John Deere, 15th at Barbasol. I like that he played the Barbasol, kept it going. Didn't win, but he was there. 41st here last year, nothing great, but man, he's in such good form coming in. 25th in putting splits, 7,400 seems like a good price in this field. I'll take some Adam Shank. Bo Hoag, 19th in my overall model, a 12th here last year, 34th in splits, putting splits for me. Rocket Mortgage, 32nd, 47th at John Deere, 11th at Barbasol. I like the top 12 finish last year here. 7,100 is a good price for him in this field. He's got some weaknesses in some of the statistical categories. Not weaknesses, but, average. But then he's 5th in approach, 31st in DK par 5, 20th in birdie or better. So at that price, I can take some of those and just hope that everything clicks this week. And I like that he played there last year and got 12, so he's familiar with the course. Lebioda, the only reason why he is a bubble boy for me is I fully expect him to be the chalk of the week at 7,900. A 34th and a 26th the last 2 years here before anybody even was on Hank Lebioda. 18th in putting splits. Now he's hot fire. Recent form, he's one of the top in the field. 4th at Rocket Mortgage, 8th at John Deere. It's been a lot of putting, but he's been a good putter compared to when he was in his downfall a little bit at the beginning of the year. But man, do you keep riding the heater? I say yes, but I could see him as one of the top 2 or 3 owned. And at 7,900, I can get different there and pivot. We'll just have to see on ownership. That's the only reason why I got him as a bubble boy. Is let's wait till we see the ownership shake out a little bit. 6K range. Go back to Vincent Whaley. Was a hot DFS darling for a while. Not so much lately. 58th at the Rocket Mortgage. Missed the cut at John Deere. 26th at Barbasol. He's number 1 in par 5 DK scoring. I like that. 18th in good drives. 21st in approach. 43rd in birdie or better. 44th in opportunities inside 18 feet. So 6,800. There's enough upside there that I like that. I'm willing to go back to him in that if I'm dropping down to this 6K range at all. Next, Gliglick, I always say this wrong, or Glechik, I don't really know. I know he's Canadian, but 41st at Rocket Mortgage, missed a cut at John Deere, 19th at Barbasol last week. He had a 26th here. He's only $6,300. So, for the upside there, and if you're looking for some cheap flyers, I really like him. 13th in the putting splits as well. Stat-wise overall, he's 20th. So there's enough there I like about him that I don't mind playing him. MMEs and could flirt with, maybe a 10 lineup core or something like that for sure. MJ Dafu, I think that I'm saying that right. But for some reason, I feel like it's said a different way. If I mess it up, you guys will let me know. I know I try to make sure I know those right. But $6,400. he kind of popped in things I didn't really expect. He's above average in the bent split putting. He made the cut at Barbasol last week. This guy's nothing crazy, but stat wise, and then I went and looked where it's coming from. You know, he's could be worth a flyer. Probably more of a bubble boy, but I went ahead and put him in for now. 6th in par 5, 7th in birdie or better. So you can take it low. It's certainly risky, but anybody down in these 6K ranges, you're taking a bit of risk. He's probably going to be 1% owned or something, so you don't have to get too far of a weight. Bubble Boy with Sloan, I actually like him better than MJ, but I think Sloan could be a popular. He's been catching on a lot lately. Had a 15th here in 2019, a 21st, a 71st, and a 31st. His last 3 tournaments coming in. So some pretty good form. A name that guys are getting a little bit familiar with. Just watch ownership is the only thing here. I don't see anybody in the 6K range, though, that's going to even remotely get close to 10%. In these big fields, it just doesn't happen a lot. We're talking about the big 60, 70,000 man fields. Last week, it was Burns is going to be 30%. He didn't even get 10%. When you start, and that was much bigger fields, but there's just so much spread out that it takes a lot for it. It takes a major misprice, like the Kyle Stanley week and stuff, for someone like that to happen. And I think Burns was a little bit mispriced, but being the vulnerability of the Open, I think people didn't want to get there. And I just don't see anybody that's going to be over 10% in the 6K range. So I think you can spread it out how you want. Those are the 4 that kind of caught my eye early to start off the week. Fade of the week for me is going to be Usti. Be interested to see what the community industry is on him. If he truly comes over here, he's going to play. I believe he withdrew here last year prior to the tournament, actually. But obviously a 3rd at the Open. He's 84th in my statistical model. So we just know, like, is he like a mini Baby Brooks, and when it's time to go, he's going to go. But these kind of events, I just can't fathom paying 10-9 from him, really. That's really all it is. Like, I mean, he's got to finish close. I mean, top 5 worst to pay off. I'd pay $400 for DJ, or drop down to $200 less for Finau, or $600 less to a Patrick Reed that's fighting he'd like to auto qualify for the Ryder Cup. I think he'd get picked no matter what, but just so much around him. I just don't think I'll have Usti. I know that's tough coming off last week when I faded him and I look like a clown, but no thanks on him this week right now. Only thing I could see is if he's in and he's playing and everybody's off of him, he's on that 4 to 5% number. Maybe if you're doing 50 lineups plus, you get even to the field just in case he's here to win, maybe, and get. I don't know. That'd be it. Maybe he gets a presser and we get to listen to him. I'll update that tomorrow. I'm gonna do a hybrid Tuesday tidbits and movers and shakers tomorrow morning, since I did the smash today. And doing a lot of football stuff later on. So, balancing that time right now. Sleeper of the week for me is Bo Hostler. I think I like him a lot. 7,300. I think I liked him at the John Deere, and he burned me, which is fine. I don't mind jumping back on that. He probably burned some other people. He's 3rd in the bent putting splits. His game's coming around. He goes to the Barbasol, finishes 15th. He got a 34th here in 2019. He's 21st in stats, 32nd in recent form for me. 7,300 is a great price. I don't see him getting talked up or mentioned much, so I like him as a sleeper this week. Bo Hostler. Gut feel plays. Brandon Haggie's 25th in my stats. 46th here last year. A 6th at Rocket Mortgage. 18th at John Deere. 7,200. I like him. Gut feel play number 2, Ricky Fowler. Only because I think at 8,900, I think people may go off of him. He had that strong finish Sunday. I was overweight on him last week at the Open. I don't know. He was close to getting his money back at 53rd. I think he was 7,300. But maybe he takes that finish and rides, gets hot here at a weaker field that he could contend in. 8,900 instead of like 8,000 or so, I think, or 7,900, 7,500, I think keeps some people off of him. So I like him as a gut feel play number 2. Gut feel play number 3, Richie Warinsky, 38th in the model. Back-to-back missed cuts. Barely. I thought he'd do well at Barbasol, so I don't think many will get on him. A 3rd here last year and a 46 2 years ago. Above average on bent splits. Because of the 2 missed cuts, John Deere and Barbasol, I don't think he'll be talked up much. I like the price. He seems like he has troubles on Sunday. Maybe because I have him when he's there on Sundays, but I don't need him to win at 7,600. Last guy, CH3, had him at Rocket Mortgage. He missed the cut. Comes back to John Deere, finishes 23rd. Played him again there. He's got a 3rd and a 23rd here the last 2 years, so seems to like the course. We know his games. He's been working on his game hard. 7,700. I feel is a pretty good price for a guy that should make the cut and contend on the weekend. So he's my final gut feel play of the week. Top 5 that pop in 2 long shots, powered by Monkey Knife Fight. Use the code GUPS, GUPS, for 100% match up to $50 on your first deposit. My first, I like Mito, 80 to 1. Kazire, 66 to 1. Cam Davis, 40 to 1. Schwartzel, 66 to 1. And Wolf's probably the lowest I'd go on the board. I think he's 28 to 30-ish, somewhere in there. I'm going to see if he may drift a little bit. I don't know how many people are putting Wolf tickets in. Would like to get him, if he gets a 33, I think I'd hit that. 2 long shots, Adam Shank, 100 to 1, and Bo Hogue, 100 to 1. I like both of those as we sit here early on a Tuesday morning. One and done. It really comes down to where you're at this point. You should know we're almost to the end, grinding away. If you need, I doubt you have any of these top guys there. You may still have Usti if you didn't use them last week. Maybe you got a Fowler, McNeely, Wolf, probably just because he missed so much. You may still have him. I think I used him at Rocket Mortgage. Cam Davis, he could be a guy that you still have hanging around in there, but I think it really depends on where you're at. Be conservative. I mean, for sure would plot out. We don't have that many tournaments left. So, if you need to take some risk, there's plenty of, opportunities here to get risky and off the board as well. E9 will be dependent on, I'll get with Slack and see how we're feeling. If everybody's engaged and ready to go for this tournament, I'll certainly do that. I think Kenny may be off this week, you mentioned, or something, or some days off. So I don't know if he'll join, but I'll do that if we have the desire. You guys hit me up in Slack and let me know if you want some E9 this week. I will let you know the content schedule for next week. I sent my guy a text this morning to see if he knew if they were going to do anything for the Olympics, DK wise. My original plan was it to be like my first day off of the year, or first week off of the year, with no golf, but heavy week to get things rolling for NFL, college football, and that kind of set our platform up for the fall swing of what content, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. It's going to be the most content we've ever given you during football season, and looking forward to it. And not shying away from golf. We'll still also have golf covered every week. So I'll update, and probably I'll just post on the site so people kind of know what my schedule is for next week as I get some information there. As of now, there is no golf to cover. I don't know if they will do anything. I think odds are, I would say probably not. There's already issues and concerns this morning of, some things being canceled. There's 70 people, I think, that have tested positive. There's a lot of unknown over there that I don't know if DraftKings will do anything, but they may treat it like a WGC. That's about how many people are in there. A lot of these guys are from, I don't know how they'd price it. It'd be interesting. It'd be fun to research, I guess. I definitely would do some kind of coverage if they have it. Personally, kind of hoping for the week off. It's been a long grind this year. Week off, meaning I can focus on a lot of the football stuff that I'm anxious to get out for you guys. So I'll update that as soon as I have it. Maybe I'll have it tomorrow for the movers and shakers. I will be back then. I hope you guys have a blessed Tuesday and a great week. Don't forget, Smash 20% off any package right now. Free trial for 7 days. Come check out all the goods we got going. I'll be working on a new tutorial video for the Green Machine with all of our updates that we got coming. Hope to have that out. That's one of the things that's on my list for late this week, next week as well. So looking forward to that. Thank you guys. Have a good week.